So, you want to ping the ball, huh? Well, you've come to the right place. In today's video, we're going to go over the two main ways of long ball passing and, most importantly, how to do them. I remember when I was a younger player, I was obsessed with trying to kick the ball as far as I could, which wasn't very far at all, to be honest. I was told that I should spend more time working on my short passing, which honestly needed a lot of work, and that the long passing would come in time, which it did. Maybe that's the situation you're in too. Your legs are now strong enough to kick the ball very far, but when you try to do it, your technique is off, and so the ball isn't moving like it should. We're gonna fix those technique issues today. Let's ping the ball. So when we talk about pinging or long ball passing, usually the most common type is the lofted backspin ball. It looks like this. Yes, nice touch, Steve. This pass is used primarily for getting the ball over the top of multiple defenders when switching play or playing a ball over the top to break defensive lines. Or it can be used for a cheeky keeper chip like Beck's iconic goal from back in the day. Now it's really important to note the technique here with this pass because ultimately what we're trying to do is put that backspin on the ball. Why do we want this? Well, for one, it can fly through the air better and for longer distances. Is that a scientific observation? Not exactly, but that's been my personal observation after playing and watching the game my entire life. And two, it makes the ball easier for your teammate to control. Going back to when I was a kid and trying to hit the ball as hard as I could, that's exactly what I would do. I would just hit it as hard as I could in any old way that I pleased without ever even thinking about my teammate on the receiving end of a terrible, powerful pass. This is not what we want. This is not what your teammate wants. This is not what Steve wants. And it's very important to pass the ball in a way that sets your teammate up for success when they receive the ball. So now we know why the backspin ball is so important. Now we're gonna take a look at the technique to pull this off. If we were to draw a line straight through the center of the ball, we want to hit the ball exactly at the point where the ball touches the ground. Now we want to look at the motion that our foot is going to be making when it's striking the ball, okay? I'm going to use my hand for reference, all right? So my foot is going to be coming under the ball, meeting at that point that I referenced earlier. And it's going to be creating this backspin motion, okay? And this lifting action. To do this with my foot, I want to think of adjusting my foot so that it's parallel with the ball like this. This will allow me to hit the ball with the widest surface of my foot without wrapping my foot around the ball and creating counterclockwise spin. We want backspin, not counterclockwise spin. Now, let's take a look at our follow through. I want to make sure that I keep my foot low to the ground in order to create that backspin. If I bring my follow through foot up too quickly, it could end up being more like a shot and less like a pass. Notice that after striking the ball, my follow through leg is gonna come across my body and land beside my plant foot just like this. If you wanna get the ball higher and further into the air, a good rule of thumb is to lean back a bit more while you're striking the ball. Mastering this technique is just gonna come, guys, from putting in the reps. It's gonna be frustrating at first when you fail a lot and you're trying to learn this thing, but trust me, after you hit a couple good passes, it's gonna feel really good. Try to capture that feeling, make a mental image, and repeat. Just put those reps in and you're gonna start pinging the ball, looking like Pirlo out here. The simplest way to get reps in is with a training partner, but if you don't have one of those, you can just get a ton of reps in by kicking the ball into the net or fence while you learn the technique. Our next long ball passing technique is the driven ball. The driven ball is similar in technique to the backspin lofted ball, but this pass is for keeping the ball close to the ground and switching play very quickly. This pass is more difficult to master between the two, but if you can learn this technique, it's a thing of beauty to witness and execute. Like I mentioned before, the driven pass is going to be very similar in a lot of technique things like that backspin pass, but we're going to change a couple things like our follow through, the point of contact that is going to help us execute this pass well. So the point of contact one for this one, when we hit the backspin ball pass, we were definitely trying to hit as low as we possibly could. For this one, we're going to come up to about here in order to keep the ball lower to the ground. If we go any further below that, the ball's going to come up in the air, we want to keep that ball nice and low to the ground. When we strike this ball, our follow through foot is going to be parallel with the ground, nice and low, and it's going to tend to go downwards in this downward motion in order to keep the ball low. So as you can see, guys, that driven low ball pass is very similar in approach to technique, okay? But everything is usually tending to go down, your body's going down, follow through is going down, because you want to keep it really low to the floor. If you found this tutorial helpful, guys, make sure you let us know by smashing that like button. Also, thanks to Steve for helping us out with this one. Appreciate it, man. Check out Steve's soccer podcast at swiftkickspod.com. And that's gonna be down in the description, okay? If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Remember, your dreams don't work if you don't. This is Andrew. Steve, see you later. Is the Lofted backspin ball. Come on, Steve, control that. Way too happy, dude.